Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Sophie Cunningham ready to throw down. Welcome back to the channel. Yes, another Sophie Cunningham video. I hadn't done one in a while, and then we get a couple around the same time. But I thought this was really interesting. I want to talk about it because I also have some experience with it, as a player, as a coach, and what can happen. So it's actually, for me, I think, hopefully you enjoy it, an interesting topic, and that is this idea of shaking hands post game. Like it says, why don't WNBA players shake hands post game? Wasn't there something last year early on in the season where Caitlin Clark went to do that, and the other team didn't want to shake hands? But apparently, it's a WNBA thing, or not a WNBA thing. It's a thing everywhere else. So this is less than a minute long. I want to play this, and then I want to talk about it. Some of the things that I find pretty interesting and a little bit funny. Right? Let's check this out.
I don't know why we don't shake hands anymore. Like I think COVID kind of stopped all that.
It's probably because they know there's people like you in those lines. And if you have shit with someone, you're going to throw them a bow.
All right, well,
right in their ribs.
Then here's my thing to that. If you're going to talk shit, then back it up. Then you have nothing to worry about.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is you guys are trying to back it up in the handshake line.
But a lot of those people who do that, they can't back it up. Shaking hands, it's cool and whatnot, but no one means it.
Do you dap up before tip off?
Yeah.
With the starting five?
We all shake hands before. That's different than most, I think.
Should I ask ChatGPT real quick before we move on, see if it knows? Why does the WNBA not shake hands? It just says it's not a part of the league's protocol.
Yeah.
Huh.
Not a part of the league's protocol. Now, first of all, of course, Sophie's going to say that again. Farm girl with a black belt, but they both make interesting points. And what Sophie was, I think, trying to get at that she didn't quite articulate to get across when she says that because they won't back it up is that she's saying that I think it'll lessen some of the nonsense on the court because then you have to go through the handshake line, and if you can't or are not ready or don't want to back it up, well, then you might not be doing some stuff on the court. And he alluding to, well, that would be a problem with someone like Sophie Cunningham and this and that. But here's the crazy thing, and this is why I want to talk about it because it's kind of wild, is it's true, right? This is again an example of the WNBA being absolutely so messy. And yeah, I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to take a shot a little bit. So don't, y'all like to get offended. Don't take it all too seriously. It's a little tongue in cheek, but the certain people that I like to get under their saying it's the women, man, they just too damn emotional. They get all up in their feels. They can't control themselves. And so if there's a problem during the game, they're not going to make it through the handshake line. I'm just saying, I think that's why the WNBA doesn't do it. Let me know your feelings on that in the comments below. But actually, it's kind of wild because, well, I do think legitimately that is part of the problem. I think the WNBA would have a lot more incidents if they did post-game handshake line for sure. But this is where I get in my to be fair thing. It's amazing. I think it's amazing more doesn't happen. It absolutely is. It is an accident waiting to happen. I saw that as a player. I saw it even more as a coach. Now, I coach girls, so I don't know, maybe that's it. But I'll give you an example of one in soccer because I've seen a few of them do it. Like my girls learn to, when they go through that handshake line, they let the keeper go. They don't, because we've seen multiple times where the goalkeeper, when they get into the handshake line, spit into their gloves and then high five. Nobody does a handshake really. They kind of high five, slap hands, whatever. But yeah, and I've seen a few incidents get started because girls say something, and not girls. There have been problems with boys too. I'm just talking about my experience as a coach. So yeah, I am all for actually not having handshake lines because the last thing I was at is just like what Sophie Cunningham just said about no one means it. I mean, seriously, you're going out in there and you're battling from first whistle or buzzer to the last, especially when maybe it's a rival or whatever, and it was a tough loss or something. What is this good game? You don't mean good game. Stop it. Stop it. You don't mean good game. That's absolutely absurd. The last thing you want to do, especially if you lose a tough game to a rival, you do not want to be going through a line, shaking all their hands and telling them good game. You don't mean a damn word of that. That is absolutely nonsense. But again, I think the WNBA, there's a little bit of messiness involved. Come on. I think everything you've seen, think about it, everything you've seen with the games and the way players act. I mean, I'll give you one last example before I cut this. Is remember Seattle with Skylar Diggins, right? Caitlin's walking off the court to go to her team because of a timeout, and Skylar Diggins changes direction and bumps Caitlin Clark from behind, and Caitlin Clark just goes with it, ignores Skylar Diggins Smith, but she redirected her to walk right through the Seattle bench, which she did, and then that got the coach all up in her feels, and then she goes over and gets in Chrissy Side's face along with one of her players, which could have escalated it to something else entirely. So again, do you really think when you see stuff like that all the time that these women are going to be able to handle handshake lines after the game? Could you see the Phoenix Mercury? Remember that first game when the Fever spanked them? Could you see the Phoenix Mercury one shaking their hands after Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner, Kalia Copper? How about after the game where DeWanna Bonner? Oh, that was the same game, wasn't it? DeWanna Bonner got booed. How would that handshake line go? I would never send Caitlin Clark through that handshake line ever. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Thank you for checking out the video. Really do appreciate it. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.